So we talked about the Yankees. We talked about the Giants. Let's continue with the sad state of New York football and talk about the New York Jets, who
Man, oh man.
are also 0-2, just like the Giants. They're coming off a 25-6 loss to the New England Patriots last Sunday. That was kind of a slow death in that one. You had Zach Wilson obviously throwing those 4 interceptions. Just about everything went wrong for the New York Jets in that one. Kris, it's early in the year, so I want to ask you this. Are you worried about Zach Wilson right now after the 4 interception performance?
If it were against anyone but Bill Belichick,
Okay. Okay, that's
then
fair.
I'd come out and say, maybe it's not totally against Wilson, but something's not going right with the coaching staff, with the corners. They're not on the same page because that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But it's Bill Belichick. That makes me think he walked into that locker room that week, at like 3 a.m, whenever he starts his day, and just started doing his little chuckle, that little Bill Belichick, watching that Zach Wilson tape. Just
The maniacal laugh.
I'm going to make him throw right into this pocket, and we're going to intercept the heck out of it.
None of them learn. None of these rookie quarterbacks seem to learn.
I got to catch a flu or something the day before you play the Pats if you're a rookie. Otherwise, your confidence gets killed. Nah, man, I'm not too worried about Zach Wilson because of the start so far. I would say this. If you were really high on him pre-draft, don't let these 2 games sway your evaluation. If you were really low on him pre-draft, don't be that guy who uses these 2 games to run around victory lapping your take, because I do think that Pats game is just, it's what it is. It's a Pats game. It's the second game of a career. And the first game was a weird one. The Panthers.
Yeah.
That game wasn't really about Zach Wilson. That was Darnold and Robbie Anderson.
That was a Darnold revenge game right there. That's what that was.
This was Wilson's first foray into being a headliner, Wilson versus Jones, rookie matchup.
Yeah.
And didn't go too great for Zach Wilson. I will say, I think if you switch these 2 quarterbacks, Wilson looks pretty good against the Jets, and Jones looks pretty bad against the Pats.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting thing to go to there. But first of all, and I'll get into that in a second, but I'm not really worried about Zach Wilson either. I think, you mentioned Bill Belichick. I mean, it's for anyone that expected Zach Wilson to have a great game against the Patriots and a Bill Belichick defense just doesn't really make any sense at all. I mean, you just look at history, and that kind of proves you wrong there. It's also game number 2. He's a rookie, obviously. So I think with the comparison to Mac Jones, I find that really interesting because I think Mac Jones is, I guess, more mature. Can I say that? Or maybe more prepared to be an NFL starter now?
Yeah, for sure. Especially in I know that the Jets are trying to, it's a copycat league, and the Jets are trying to recreate some of the 49ers' success offensively. Jones is in a really easy spot for a rookie, and that is a credit to Belichick and the Patriots coaching staff for putting him in that easy spot. But what it is an easy spot. And when you're Zach Wilson and Mekhi Becton is down.
But here's my alternative with Zach Wilson. I think his talent is definitely above what Mac Jones is at. Talent-wise, Zach Wilson, and that's why so many people are excited about him, you can see where he can go, and you can see who he can be as a quarterback, which it's like a double-edged sword. It makes right now, and the way he just played in those 4 interceptions, incredibly frustrating for Jets fans and incredibly, upsetting for them because of how good that he can be talent-wise. That talent is there. So for Mac Jones, maybe he is more prepared to step into that starting role right now as a rookie. But going forward, you got to remind Jets fans that it's early and Zach Wilson has that talent, which I think will help him going forward. And that's the bottom line here. I think that's a reason why you can't get too worried about Zach Wilson right now.
I think the other part of it is just their teams, and I'm not talking about personnel.
Yeah, that's a great point.
I'm not even talking about on-field personnel anymore. I'm talking about objectives. Jets are trying to do what so many teams have done in their first year of a successful rebuild, and that's just not look directionless. Kind of hard when your franchise tackle goes down for, 8 weeks in week 1. AVT, I thought was a great pick. Vera Tucker was a great pick for them, but all of a sudden he has a bigger responsibility. There's more pressure.
Yeah.
Just it's tough to look at the Jets and to say that their season has been a failure through week 2.
Yeah.
I think what you can say is, as a football team, they've been bad.
Yeah.
I think if you ask Robert Saleh if he cares, I think he will say no. So
That's the thing. That's a great point, is like looking at, Zach Wilson's performance. He was terrible. He was bad. There's no getting around it. He was bad. I mean, he was playing hero ball, I feel like. He was trying to force balls downfield instead of maybe what Mac Jones did, is just, dink and dunk or play a little short. Like we talked about with Daniel Jones, we don't want him doing that because this is his second year. He's proved him, he's not a rookie anymore. But with rookies early on in the season, you want to get their confidence going.
Third year, Daniel Jones.
Yeah, third year. I apologize.
Just I had to debate
No,
it
I'm
myself
sorry.
in my head. Too.
I'm sorry.
No,
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So that makes it even more so the case. But
Exactly.
for Mac Jones as a rookie, I mean, you're going to want him to get his confidence going with short little passes and then start to work his way down the field. Zach Wilson seemed like he was just trying to force the ball downfield, trying to be that hero and make those big plays. And I think he's going to have to, and I think he will. He'll settle down. He'll realize the importance of just protecting the football and getting better, because this Jets team, you're right, it's not about the record this year for them. Really, it really isn't. I mean, sure, if they lose every single game, that's terrible. That's not good. They're going to need to win some games.
Be a laughing stock.
But within reason, it's not about winning it's not about winning each week. It's about improving. It's about this team getting better and rebuilding.
It's the start of a rebuild.
And showing signs of hope for the future. And that's why, Jets fans are disappointed with Zach Wilson, because of right now, at the moment, he is just, obviously 4 interceptions. How could you?
Great.
It's not great at all. But with him, with Saleh as well, a first-year coach, it's about showing signs of improvement. That's the big thing with this New York Jets team. Maybe they can kind of take that in to week 3. It's not going to be easy. The Broncos are a pretty good team. Teddy Bridgewater, I think, has shown a lot. He's shown really some
defense.
Yeah, that defense as well. I mean, you have some weapons for the Broncos as well. You got Fant. You have Melvin Gordon's been good running the football. So the Broncos are a pretty solid team. Cortland Sutton, yeah, he had a great week last week.
That's my guy.
Yeah,
on that team. Judy's out. So
yeah, Judy's out. So he's your guy there for Teddy Bridgewater. So that's something too you got to think about, is that going into next week. I mean, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be any easier. I don't think, for this New York Jets team. But Zach Wilson, I think, really needs to just focus on controlling the football, limiting those turnovers, maybe 1 or 2 interceptions instead of 4. I'll take that as an improvement, and any way to show signs that, okay, this Jets team is getting better and moving in the right direction.
So I said earlier in the show that I would absolve Wilson of one of his interceptions.
Yes.
This was not just because he gets a, 4-for-1 deal where for every 4 picks he throws, I'll take 1 off his record. It's because I genuinely thought that one wasn't his fault. Now, I want to talk quickly about one that was his fault and what I think it means, and to cut to the chase, why I think it's not actually so bad. I believe it was the 3rd pick, right side of the field, looking for a receiver to make a read on the defense, run a route accordingly, and then find him. You're going to see a lot in the National Football League that receivers think they can catch balls that they can't because they want to go try to make that big play.
Yeah.
And Wilson trusted his receiver. He called for the ball. He threw him the ball, and it got picked. It was in a bad spot. I mean, that's a very rookie thing to happen.
Yeah, for
I'm
sure.
very okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm a Jets fan.
It's just a learning process. It's part of the experience for Wilson. Another thing to be said, though, about the Broncos, on the other side of things, and their defense, like you mentioned, they really led Trevor Lawrence to struggle as well. Trevor Lawrence, the number 1 pick, guy. So that makes you, I guess, a little concerned, for what you're going to see from Zach Wilson. I don't know what's worse, a Bill Belichick coach defense, probably, against rookie quarterbacks. So maybe this Broncos defense will be a little easier, but they did stifle Trevor Lawrence, to say the least, and they led him to make some of those similar mistakes that Wilson made.